going to do coalition or not, let's talk about the future of the country. Because often we abandon the country and what we need to do, talking about power grab. I'm not interested in any coalition that is for purpose of taking power. It is about discussing Nigeria. How do we care about securing Nigeria? How do we care about the common person in Nigeria? How do we care about our children being in school? That is the most important thing for now.
So how do you address the issue of monetization of politics?
That's what we need to remove. Because what you're doing is that you're encouraging stealing of public money, because if I steal it and use it to win an election, then I get all the powers and everything, including immunity, not to be prosecuted. So we must stop it. That is what's driving the stealing.
Is it going to address the problem of the political party opposing candidates?
Is to people should know that democracy is about the will of the people. People must be in charge. It is about serving the people, and that is most critical.
Excellency, the issue is that these conversations have been on for quite a long time. And
it is now time for us to take action, because you can see where it brought us to. We now live in an insecure country. We now live in a country that is every day breeding poverty. People are suffering. So many people don't know where the next meal will come from. We now live in a system where on Friday, I visited, on day of celebration of education, I visited 15 schools where children don't even have a lab, talk less of one computer. That's what Democrats have brought to us. And we must deal with it head on.
How do you think this administration is doing?
It is for you to rate it by going to market. I don't need to rate it for you. It is for you to rate it. If you go to market, then you rate it yourself.
yeah.
The most unfortunate incident that has befallen us as a country is not the fact that we have bad and corrupt leaders, but the fact that we have citizens who do not understand what true leadership and true governance is all about. That right there is the bane of our problem in this country, because majority of Nigerians do not understand what true governance is all about. Majority of Nigerians do not even know what it means to have a proper election. Majority of Nigerians do not know what it means to have a working system. They feel like what we have today in Nigeria is a working system. Leadership in Nigeria has been reduced to the barest, and most Nigerians have accepted it to be the best form of leadership. That is why you see some Nigerians on social media, they celebrate the building of roads, the building of flyover as a form of good governance. I am not saying that building of road and flyovers is not good governance, but that is what we call basic amenities. Yeah, most Nigerians do not understand that is basic amenities, meaning that this is what government ought to provide for them. That is why after celebrating road and bridges, their life remains the same. They still remain poor and can hardly feed themselves despite being blessed with vast human and natural resources. If Nigeria truly understands what good leadership is all about, they will do everything possible to ensure that Mr. P2B become the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If you listen to Mr. P2B talk and then listen to other presidential candidates, or even listen to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the disparity is so huge. You can see someone that has passion for Nigerians. You can see someone that identify a problem and want to fix that problem. You can see someone that is yearning for a change in the system in Nigeria. You can see someone that wants the best for the country. When you give most politicians the opportunity to talk, they will campaign for themselves ahead of the 2027 general election. Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a president is even campaigning ahead of 2027 general election. But that is a different ballgame when it comes to Mr. Peter Obi. He will tell you that he is not interested in the 2027 general election. All he is interested currently is how Nigerians can feed, is how Nigerians can feel better, is how Nigerians can be comfortable, is how the average Nigerian child can have access to good quality education, healthcare, and potable drinking water. Of course, this is why he is still very much popular, despite being said that he lost the election in 2023. All the presidential candidates that contested that election with him, they've all gone into oblivion. None of them is into the political landscape anymore. They've gone to their various businesses. Of course, when I talk about businesses, I'm talking about re-strategizing for the 2027 general election. But this is very much different with Mr. Peter Obi. He abandoned his business and he has been going around the country trying to identify the problem inherent in Nigeria and seeing what he can do to alleviate the suffering of the common people. Mr. Peter Obi has gone from one place to another, donating his own personal money. Mr. Peter Obi has donated his money in schools, healthcare centers, building portable drinking water for people that do not have access to portable drinking water. He has visited to commiserate with victims of tanker explosion, bomb blast, and even in IGPs, where the president and other presidential candidates has never been to. To Mr. Peter Obi, leadership is all about compassion, empathy, identifying with the plight of ordinary Nigerians. This is what most of our leaders lack. Our leaders do not have that empathy. They are completely cut off from the reality. They do not feel the pulse of the nation and what the people are going through. Because if they feel the pulse of the nation and what the people are going through, they will do everything possible to ensure that they ameliorate the suffering of Nigerians. But no, they are making everything worse. But it's quite unfortunate that most Nigerians do not even understand the person that cares for them a lot. They don't understand the person that wants their good. Prior to the 2015 general election, President Muhammadu Buhari, who lost the 2011 general election, was called upon to form a merger which led to the formation of APC. Now, to Nigerians, APC wanted to take over power from Goodluck Ebele Jonathan so they can fix the economy, fight insecurity and corruption. But unfortunately to Nigerians, they did not understand that that was a power play to take over power, to seize control of the nation's resources, to control the political landscape of Nigeria. What happened in 2015 was not about fixing Nigeria's economy, fighting corruption and insecurity, making life better for Nigerians. It was all about having access to power, and they succeeded in getting that. APC succeeded in capturing power with the help of Nigerians. That move turned out to be the biggest mistake Nigerians have ever made, because APC have oversaw the destruction of Nigeria's economy and the quality of life of average Nigerians. But unfortunately, it seems that Nigerians are about to make that same mistake again in 2027 with the way things are going. Bola Ahmed Tinubu has turned out to be an abysmal failure. He has turned out to be the worst president in the history of this country. And of course, Nigerians cannot wait to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu leave Aso Rock in 2027. And the politicians, the power brokers, the power mongers, those that want to grab power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they are aware. They know that Nigerians are desperate to see Bola Ahmed Tinubu leave. And they themselves, they are equally desperate to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria when Bola Ahmed Tinubu leave in 2027. That is if he will definitely leave. This is where all these political parties' coalition and merger comes into play. The 2023 general election gave us one of the finest politicians in the history of this country, and that is Mr. Peter Obi. He left PDP and went into Labour Party, an unknown political party, and in 6 months, he made Labour Party to become a national party. If not for the political coup that happened in the 2023 general election, Mr. Peter Obi would have been announced as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. If truly Nigeria practice real democracy, if truly our election is free, fair and transparent, Mr. Peter Obi would have become the president. And all these power brokers, they are aware of what Mr. Peter Obi carries. They are aware of the movement that is behind Mr. Peter Obi. They know that aligning with Mr. Peter Obi will give them an edge ahead of the 2027 general election. Mr. Peter Obi is aware that these people are not in the business of making Nigeria work. They are not in the business of fixing the economy. All they care about is to grab power. Because if they don't care about grabbing power, trust you me, no northern politician should be talking about contesting the 2027 general election. And I say this without mincing word. They should take the back seat and allow the southern politician to become the president in 2027. When you look at their political calculation, especially from the Atiku camp, they are like Atiku will contest for 1 term. Then Kwankwaso will contest for 1 term. Then they will hand over power to Mr. Peter Obi to contest for 2 terms. What sort of silly calculation is that? To these northern power brokers, the office of the presidency is a compensatory scheme where anyone can take turn to have a fee of what it is to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, irrespective of the person's leadership acumen. That's why they foisted Buhari for 8 years on Nigerians who went on a bad leadership spree. To them, becoming the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is their birthright. We are talking about a region that have had unhindered access to power at the center for over 40 years out of Nigeria's 65 years of independence. And of course, they are always angry when a southerner is in power. That was how they were angry when Goodluck Jonathan was in power and they gang up against him. Atiku Abubakar, Kwankwaso, Bukola Saraki, and other northern politicians that are gearing up ahead of 2027 general election were among those that gang up against Goodluck Jonathan because he was a southerner. It is true that Bola Ahmed Tinubu has performed willfully, but if displacing Bola Ahmed Tinubu means a northerner to become the president, then Bola Ahmed Tinubu should continue. I don't think any of the northern politicians that want to take over from Bola Ahmed Tinubu has anything to offer this country. These guys are a menace. They are the reason why Nigeria is where she is today. They helped in the destruction of this country called Nigeria. Mr. P2B is aware of their scheme. Mr. P2B is aware of their plot. That is why he keeps sounding it out that he is not interested in any political measure that is all about power grabbing, that is all about taking power from somebody because of their own personal interest. If taking power from Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not geared towards fixing Nigeria, it's not geared towards making Nigerians happy, it's not geared towards fixing the economy, Mr. P2B is saying he will not be part of such measure. Of course, this is Mr. P2B saying that if there must be any measure, if there must be any party that will be formed ahead of the 2027 general election, I, His Excellency, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, will be the presidential flag bearer. If I am not the presidential flag bearer, I am not going to be part of any measure because I am the most competent presidential candidate currently in Nigeria and I have a solid structure. I have the biggest movement in Nigeria. I have a block vote. I am coming with my block vote and they are aware that Mr. P2B is coming with a block vote. That is why they want to identify with him. This is someone they despised in 2023 general election, but he has gone out and proved them wrong. If there is any discussion for any measure that will take place, Mr. P2B is coming to that table with his bargaining chips, with a bargaining power that supersedes any other presidential candidate. Atiku Abubakar does not have any bargaining chips. PDP has been taken away from him. Kwankwaso does not even have any bargaining chips. NNPP has been taken away from him. Mr. P2B is the only presidential candidate that does not seem to have a party so far, but he has a solid movement, the obedient movement. That can never be taken away from him. Obedient movement is Mr. P2B, and obedient movement is Mr. P2B bargaining chips. Therefore, any negotiation that do not involve Mr. P2B becoming the presidential flag bearer, Mr. P2B is out of that negotiation. Conduct a free, fair, transparent election in Nigeria today. Mr. P2B will emerge victoriously. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.
Whatever happens with democracy affects citizens. It affects their daily living. It affects the future of their children. So we must all now get involved to make it work. Because you know it is not working in Nigeria today.